On to the
we'll
Brimfield
talk
Township
later.
Board of
Take care.
Trustees, public hearing. We're here for a public hearing at 7:30 a.m. on Chapter 7 signs. Roll call for attendance. Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick? I am here. All right, we're going to open up the floor, or actually we turn the meeting over to Mike Ladd to talk about what the change is, and then we'll open up the floor to public comments.
Okay.
So Mike, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Nick. So this is just some revisions into the Chapter 7 signs, looking at some of the areas within the sign code. We've always went 32 square feet for our monument signs. We also kept that with our announcement signs because we see a ton of variances that come in just for announcement signs. For example, Village of St. Edwards, they want to put a 32 square foot in. Our maximum at the time was 6 square foot. And if you look at 6 square foot, it's very hard to see a sign driving down the road that's 6 square feet. So simple changes that just made common sense to not have so many variances within the sign code. You'll see some revisions in the next year. We turned this in, believe it or not, in last August to the Regional Planning Commission. And, you know, there was a lot of people leaving and coming and going within regional planning. So it took a while. Anyway, we ended up doing most of the work was through the zoning commission themselves as well as myself going through. But we're going to see some revisions coming up just with temporary signs and those banner flags. We're trying to work on that as well. But for now, the sign code is at least solid. Regional planning looked through all of the code to make sure that we weren't being unlawful with anything as far as political signs or any constitutional rights, First Amendment rights. So the town center, the zoning commission decided to eliminate the town center regulations because they weren't followed for years prior to me coming in here. So it was a moot point just to keep everything uniform throughout the whole township. So.
All right, we'll now open up the floor to public comments for individuals who would like to speak about the changes. Currently, we have nobody signed up, but I'll do a last call, as we always do, if anybody wants to sign in to talk about the proposed changes to the signs for the board to consider. All right, everybody at once. All right, we have nobody that wants to speak on this, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, roll call, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick? Yes. Meeting adjourned at 7:32.
Yes, I'm
Welcome,
there.
everyone. We're here for the public hearing at 7:45 for the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees. Roll call for attendance, please. Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick, I am here. We have a quorum. We're here for a public hearing on Appendix E, Schedule of Uses. I'm now going to turn the meeting over to Mike Ladd to talk about that, and then we will open it up to public comments. Mike, floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Nick. So the schedule of use is in Appendix E. This is in correlation with our Chapter 3 with all our zoning districts. So in Chapter 3, we list all of our uses within there, and if it's not in there, then you go to Appendix E, and then you can find where, if the use is actually allowed, because in Chapter 3, there's a limited space of how much you can write in there. So we have a matrix of uses that go into Appendix E. But after reviewing it several times, and our attorney advised us, hey, we should be tying the two together with some language, in addition to Chapter 3, look at Appendix E. But there was nothing over the years that ties the two together, so this proposed language ties both of those together.
Okay. All right, we'll open up the floor for public comment. Joe, can you grab that sheet for me, please? All right, we have nobody signed up for public comment on schedule, or Appendix E, Schedule of Uses. I'll put up here in case anybody wants to talk about that. It's your chance for the board to hear your thoughts. All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, roll call. Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick? Yes. Meeting adjourned at 7:47. We'll be back at 8 o'clock for our regular Board of Trustees meeting. All right, welcome everyone to the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees meeting for September 3rd, 2025. Roll call for attendance, please.
Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes, we have a quorum. If everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please remain standing, Pastor?
Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for the break in the weather, allowing us to be able to get outside, spend more time enjoying the things that you've given us to enjoy. And hopefully this last weekend, Lord, we all got to take a break from our labors and spend time with family and friends. But Lord, in the recent changes and additions to the township, Lord, we've got Miss Golden and some fire personnel coming on and maybe others that I don't know about. I just pray, Lord, that you would just continue to help our community to kind of grow as far as leadership and mesh together and just learn to work as a team. We're so thankful for all of them. And Lord, now as we enter into this meeting, we just ask that you'd have your way. Let everything that's said and done bring honor and glory to you. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, we'll start with announcements and correspondences. Board, any announcements or correspondences?
Oh, I've been busy. Yes, I have a couple here I want to talk about. I want y'all to know I attended, gonna back feed there. I attended the local government breakfast that was put on by the Portage Development Board, which we are a member of. And that was on August the 26th. And at that local government breakfast, I met Dave Joyce, U.S. Congressman, Steve Diamitro, he's a state representative, Heidi Workman is a state representative, Mike Tinman is president of the Portage County Commissioners, Larry Jenkins is the Portage County engineer, Matt Kelly was the Portage County auditor, and John Kennedy was the Portage County treasurer. And this was definitely a networking breakfast that was shared by everyone, very well attended. And it was good to, those people that attended were also networking. And that's how people get to know about Brimfield and what's happening here and all that. So I was really pleased to be able to attend that. And then we have the 2024 Portage Development Board Annual Report. And I hope I get these numbers right, but I'm going to try. In that, in 2024, the total investment with Portage County, and this is funds that have come into our county, was $1,247,851,621. That is a lot coming into Brimfield. And just wanted to share that. I was impressed with all those figures. But they talked about, they have a program, it's called Locate, Stay, and Grow. And that's where this Portage Development Board, which is made up of a number of people from the colleges, from the medical school, from like Davy Tree, the big companies and the little companies too. There's maybe, I would say, at least 100 or more of these high caliber type people that meet once every 3 months. And since Brimfield Township is the largest township in the county, then when I go, I'm representing all of the townships of the county at this meeting. So I just wanted to let everybody know I've been busy. Also, this is very important to me too. I received a letter from a resident that lives on Hickory Creek off of Malloy Road. And her concern in her letter was she was asking about clean up the green space around the community mailboxes and also the green space across the street. And then provide for the sidewalk to be continued from one house to the next house in front of the green space. And then reduce the cars parking all day and night on the street. Those were 3 of them, but we're also looking at the barricades at the top of the hill. On the other side of the hill is the road that comes in from Sugar Maple. And at the top of the hill, on down to Malloy Road, is their development. So anyway, I did some in-depth research on this. I talked with Mike Ladd, and I also talked with Dave Ruffner. They can also comment on this if they want. But the bottom line is that all of these questions that she has deals with the fact that that development has not been turned over to the township at this point. It's still in the process of being built. And we have, she complained to, not complained, but she was concerned about the grass that hasn't been mowed. Under township, we have no provision and no things from the Ohio Revised Code that we can mow people's yards or areas in the township. We don't do that, according to Ohio Revised Code. And I sent her a couple emails, and her main concern now is she didn't understand or know about what they call a dedicated property. So my last email with her was I referred her to the engineer's office, because that's where the subdivision rules and regulations are that would fall under this building over there. So at this point, we as a township, we cannot really do anything. The roads are new, the roads have not been dedicated, and at this point, I don't see that we can do a whole lot till the developer and the homeowners association becomes effective. And I was concerned about the barricades. I drove over there and took a look at it. These barricades are plastic and they're movable. And I also became aware that the developer came to the Board of Zoning Appeals and actually got a conditional permit of some type or a variance to have those barricades up there. That was to slow down the traffic from Sugar Maple. So, like I say, I think I got good answers that I referred to her, and hopefully, but she did ask that we talk about the barricades. If the barricades need to be there, that's why I talked to Dave Ruffner. So it would be up to the township and the developer whether the barricades stay or go. So that involves my involvement with that. I don't know if we want to put the barricade issue under roads department
Yeah, if you want
for today.
You want to have a discussion on it?
And we can talk about whether the barricade should be there or not be there, and Dave Ruffner and Mr. Ladd, they can talk about that.
We will amend the agenda when we get to the agenda portion for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And that concludes my comments.
Mike, anything?
No, I'm good.
Department heads, any announcements we need to know about? All right. Hearing none, we'll move into meeting guests. We have no scheduled meeting guests today, so we'll forego that and move into meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the 8/20/2025 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
I will second. So roll call for approval?
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes. Motion
Motion
passes. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for discussion.
So moved.
Second for discussion. Is there any changes, additions, or subtractions to the agenda?
I
Yes.
would like to talk about the barricades in the Hickory Creek allotment.
So under road department, 2A3 will be barricades in Hickory Creek. Under administration, we're gonna have 2A2, meeting date change for the 16th. And any other changes?
Yeah, I have one, Nick.
Okay.
Under road department, new business would be 4, board approval, change order.
Change order, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Any other changes?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
I need to add approval for the purchase from Builders Hardware for the door locks for the admin building.
Purchase of door locks.
Yes.
So that will be under IT 2A as in Adam, purchase of door locks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other ones? All right, roll call vote for the agenda as amended with administration 2A2, meeting date change, road department 2A3, barricades in Hickory Creek, 2A4, board approval change order, and then IT 2A, purchase of door locks. Roll call, please.
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
I will now entertain a motion to approve the purchase orders as presented.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Mike,
Abstain?
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the warrants as presented.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Mike,
Abstain?
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, we're now going to move into the public comment section. We want to remind our residents there is a 3-minute time limit per person. We do thank you in advance for being here today. We have a sign-up sheet up here. If anybody else wants to sign in, you can come on up and sign in as we start with the first person on the list, which is going to be Kevin Scott. Sir, the floor is yours.
Good morning. I realized last time I didn't really introduce myself. I was a little nervous, so I apologize for that. My name is Kevin Scott. I've lived here for a long time. My grandparents have bought property back in the mid-30s, so my family's been here for a long time. I am a farmer, and I am running for trustee. So, now that that's out of the way, Mike Ladd, I'm not giving you a hard time. I just trying to smooth out a few wrinkles with you. You referenced after my 3 minutes last time that regional planning is the one that gives you the information that agriculture has increased. I have 2 reports here. One is from regional planning, or the auditor's office, May of 2020. Agriculture was 29.4% of Brimfield. That's the acreage of Brimfield. Auditor's report for 23 was 28.5. So we're down like 1%. And that's all I'm saying. You know, the zoning commission, they all need to know, because it gives a false security blanket that agriculture is actually being increased. And these reports aren't mine. These are the auditors. So I just think that needs to be, you know, addressed properly. Not, you know, I'm just so everybody knows. Sioux Fields, it's really not what I wanted to talk about, but I think they put those barricades there because the construction traffic was going through Sugar Maple. So I think that's why they put those barricades there. I'm sure Dave Ruffner probably knows more than I do, but I know that some of my neighbors have told me that that's why they put the barricades, because the trucks and the dozers and whatever was going through Sugar Maple. So that's all I have for today. Would you guys like these, or
I know.
you do?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next on our list is Bill Mars. Floor is yours.
Good morning, I'm Bill Mars. I just wanted to take a minute and thank the Brimfield Fire Department. Yesterday, our grandson fell out of a very tall tree, and they responded very quickly and helped him out, and as it turns out, he's fine. So we are really appreciative of the emergency services in Brimfield. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, one last call if anybody else wants to speak today. Yeah, you gotta come, can you come and put your name on here, and then then we'll give you your 3 minutes. All right. David Hardman, the floor is yours, sir. If you want to step up to the podium, if you want to step right up to the podium, then you can speak. Just so everyone can hear.
I just scribbled down some notes last night.
You ain't asking for it.
I see we're running out of time here. Question being, number one, my neighbor Keith Osborne down the street was cited by the township for having too many trucks in his driveway because he has a business there. But it's okay if you have a 40-foot trailer across the street that looks like a sign on the expressway. That's okay. I don't understand what's going on there. Second, on Service Route 18, there's a pickup truck sitting there that's full of junk. It's been sitting there for 6 weeks. I don't understand why nothing's being done about that. It's full of garbage. Do we have zoning? I asked that question before and I never got an answer. I didn't bring my glasses. I've got, in my neighborhood, on the same block where this 40-foot trailer's sitting, I've got a house 2 doors down from me. It's been vacant for 2.5 years. The siding's coming off the house. It's a total disaster. From what I hear, the roof leaks. The inside is just disintegrated because of the rain coming in. It's been empty for 2.5 years. And I know it has to be something in the bylaws that says it has to be empty for 2 years. Well, that one is empty for 2 years. Going off of Service Route 18, turn onto Brimfield Road, there's a house there that's been empty for 1.5 years. No one's cut the grass, no one's done anything. There's a couple of vehicles sitting there, but no one has moved any vehicles. A couple doors down from me, you've heard this before. When I came up here this morning, I drove past the house, and sure enough, there's 6 cars sitting in it. There's 3 in the front yard and 4 in the driveway. I've complained about this before. The house looks like junk. And I complained about this before, and nothing's been done, other than the fact that somebody told him who made the complaint, and he came up to my house and complained to me about it.
Okay.
We're running a used car lot here.
Right. We're
I've
up
seen
on our 3
9
minutes.
cars in that house. 9 cars. We're running a used car lot.
All right, thank you for the information, and we'll talk with Mike Ladd about it.
I will be back.
All right. Any other public comments today? One last call. Nope. All right. We'll move on. We want to thank everybody for their comments today. We'll take those under consideration, and we'll move into our safety concerns. Any safety concerns the board needs to be aware of?
I just want to thank the road department for coming down in Beechcrest with a Durapatch and do some work and fill up some holes. And so eventually more will be done, I'm sure, but right now Durapatch will have to help us and get us through that to point A. Thank you, Dave.
All right. We will now move into the business portion of our meeting, and we're going to turn it over to Chief Mosley for our police department.
Yep, thanks, Nick. Nothing requiring board approval this morning, just a couple informational updates, really kind of tied to the schools this morning. The Brimfield Elementary Welcome Back event took place on Tuesday, August 26th. We had a great turnout down there. Our SRO, a number of our officers there. It was just a good event to meet the kids and introduce a lot of the parents and kids to our school resource officer, Officer Putnam. So that event went well. Obviously, a few local schools are back in session. With that, I just want to make everyone aware that in addition to our school resource officer, our day shift officers make routine passes and visits to all of our school buildings during the day as well. So it's not just our SRO, but our day shift patrol officers stop at all of our school buildings each day. Obviously, the school zones are going to be are back active, and our school buses are out and about. So everybody, please drive safely and watch for the school buses and our kids. And that's all I have for you this morning.
All right. Any questions for police department this morning? If not, we'll move into fire department. Chief Malala, the floor is yours.
Okay, fire department, we did receive the Ford Explorer from Sarshone. We are due to put the light sirens and lettering yet to come on that. We did a white Ford Explorer. That was paid out of the M&I funds that were received from the Talmadge M&I funds, so there was not taxpayer dollars on that. Still no news on the federal grant submitted for the fire truck. We do qualify for a federal grant every year. What comes about is federal government gives certain grants that you meet qualifications. Fortunately, Brimfield has been successful in those federal grants in the past few years. We've got an ambulance. A couple years ago, we've got air packs out of that grant. We've got fire gear out of that grant. And it happened to be that a fire truck qualifies for that grant, but the federal government shut those grants down this year. So we are right in line for that. To qualify, you have to be 25 years old. Our fire engine is 28 years old, so we would have been right in line for that. So what we'll do is just resubmit. That'll close in November, and I assume we will not be receiving that, but we'll resubmit this year with our grant writing company, who is successful in that. If they are not successful in the first year, they rewrite for free the next year. So we'll just resubmit in November again, and hopefully we'll be successful next year.
Was that just because they ran out of the grant money, or was it?
No, the federal government, for whatever reason, decided not to give that grant out to anybody this year. So we'll resubmit for that next year. Hopefully we'll be top of the list to get that. Again, when we submit for $1 million, we owe 5%. So we'll take the $1 million and owe $50,000. So it's well worth it. Again, we need it. You know, our engine's 28 years old. We should have replaced it by now, and it's a 3-year build once we do get that. So.
Look at the bright side, you can get a historical place.
Right. Well, it's historical. So, but we just don't have the money to do that right now. So the plan beyond that has to come in place. But we're limping it along. Next plan would be, if we can't do that, we got to start looking at used stuff, which is okay. We can do that. We can find a Hudson or something that wants to dump off a slightly used vehicle, and we can make that work too. But going new and getting something from the government is always good. So we'll keep trying that route first. So.
And just a little tidbit of information.
Yeah.
I know I gave it to one person to put in Facebook, but the guy was driving down south.
Yeah.
And he came across Brimfield's #2 fire truck.
Yeah.
Sitting there. He sent a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
I'll give them to you.
Yeah.
It's just sitting
Yeah.
there. So if anyone wants to restore it, the
Right.
township. Not to use.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good
No.
retirement project.
No, sometimes when they go away, it's nice that they go away. But
Yeah, well, I'll send you the
historical
pictures.
stuff's
I'll send
good.
you the pictures. It's just sort of neat. It's
Yeah.
It's in one of those pictures we got on the walls.
and then sometimes you can get, and it's a big ask, but sometimes when big companies come in, they'll help fund stuff too. That's part of the stuff you
It
can
looked
get out
great
of that
out in
too.
front of your fire station.
Yeah, so, I don't mind putting someone's name on the side of a fire truck if they want to give us some.
It says Brimfield
So that's
number
fine.
2.
So,
You remember
number
it,
2.
Chick?
All right,
Number 2 fire truck.
yeah.
It doesn't look like you probably remember it, but
So we'll keep trying on that. The grant company we use has, like I said, they've got us, I don't know, $450,000, $500,000 in the last 6-7 years. So they've been very successful for us. So we'll keep trying with that. Next item on the list was our Kent State dispatch contract, which is up for renewal. The good about that is that there is no increase. I'm going to ask for approval again today. So for the past 3 years, there was no increase on the previous 3 years, and they have asked for no increase for the next 3 years, which is pretty much unheard of. So they want to work with us and they want us back, so they haven't increased us. So I will ask for approval today for a 3-year contract at the cost of $44,044 annually for a 3-year contract moving forward. So I will need board approval on that.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the Kent City dispatch contract in the amount of $44,044 annually to be paid year 1 out of the Townage M&I Fund.
Kent.
Or Kent,
Kent.
sorry, Kent M&I Fund.
I will make that motion.
And I will second that for discussion.
And we have double checked to make sure it can come out of the M&I.
Jasmine?
Yes, yes. So we do, it can come out of the M&I. The reason for that is dispatching services are essential to public safety and direct support the infrastructure within the JED boundaries. So that's the main reason we believe that we can support it through the JED.
Because I know we can't use JED funds for salaries,
Right, so yeah, so no,
but it's contracted services.
correct.
Okay. I think that should fly.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to do it. Any questions on this? And if not, roll call for approval.
All right, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, and I do have a contract here on the 3rd page. I'll just need all 3 trustees' signatures.
And this will go to Jasmine first for records retention.
Yep, I'll get I'll have to get the Kent's signature, and then I'll get that back, the original copy. Thank you. And that, unless there's any other questions, that's all I have.
Anything? Fire. All right, hearing none, we'll move into administration. Roy, can you give us a little update on the health insurance renewal?
Sure, yeah, I just want to,
Okay.
make the board aware, we'll be putting information out through our healthcare broker. We'll be putting information to all the employees in the township for updating information as we go out for health cover renewal. It's a form fire online portal that all our employees used last year. We do the exact same thing this year, so that information will be coming out shortly to all of our employees. So department heads, just make your staff aware of that.
Number 2 is we have a public meeting on Tuesday, September 16th. Due to a scheduling conflict, we need to adjust that. I'm going to entertain a motion to move that meeting to Monday, September 15th, still a night meeting, still 6 p.m. on Monday, September 15th.
Okay, I'll make that you made a motion?
I'll
make the motion.
Okay, you can make a motion. I will second that. We're moving the night meeting from the 16th to the 15th. So the next meeting will
The
be on
next
Monday.
trustee.
Yes. Yep. All right. We couldn't do Wednesday or Thursday because the meeting room is also booked during that time. So the 15th works. Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
Roll
Yeah.
call for approval?
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Any other questions for administration?
And what time will that be, Nick?
It'll still be the 6 p.m.
Okay.
night meeting. Yeah. So it's still a night meeting. We're just moving it up a day to Monday.
Okay.
All right. If not, we'll move into zoning and economic development. Mike, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. First thing we have is our permit fees are $48,117.85. There's no old business. New business updates. Oakwood Estates Housing Development off Ranfield Road recently sold after they couldn't get approvals needed. The neighboring property owner purchased the property and zoning is declaring it agriculture to extend his farm. We're happy to assist the new owner and add more agriculture properties to the township. This is a direct result of the trustees making that motion to remove housing developments out of OR, OC, R1. We can't put housing developments in there anymore. And I want to say that there was 3 developers that were really pushing as far as even having attorneys trying to put that housing development in off of Ranfield Road. We did stop it, both through us and the subdivision regulations with the county. So we're happy to see that the farmer behind it bought it and is going to extend his farm. So those are the kind of things that we're doing for agriculture and trying to increase the agriculture in a way that, you know, things that were zoned differently through the years, trying to create that CAUV as well. And I want to thank the trustees for doing that. That was a very important step in this process to listen to the residents.
How many acres was that?
You know, I'll have to take a look.
Okay.
I want to say that farm's going to be around 15 acres now. Dollar General building is now complete. They're going to be starting moving the product in if they haven't already. I've got a couple of board approvals that are needed. The first one is amendments on Chapter 7 of the sign code. We had the public hearing this morning.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval to the amendments to Chapter 7 sign code.
So moved.
Second?
All right, for discussion, Mike Ladd, were these all duly advertised through all the public hearings?
They were.
And zoning commission went through this code and they're supportive of the changes?
They are.
Regional planning went through the code and they're supportive of the changes?
They are.
Was there any public comments during zoning commission that the board should be aware of?
Not on the sign code, no.
Okay, and can you give us and the public just an updated overview of what those changes are going to be to the sign code if it was to be approved today?
Yeah, so what is happening is we go into the sign code, there's a lot of areas that just, the sizes were too small. We're going in the township has always had the standard of 32 square foot as a monument sign. Some of the temporary signs, for example, Village of St. Edwards was the most recent one. When they're putting a billboard up for a new project, we only allowed 6 square foot. So we're going with a standard 32 square foot everywhere. So if you got a temporary sign, 32 is big enough where you can see it coming down the road. 6 square foot is really tight. There was a whole chapter section of the town center that was never enforced through the years prior to me getting here, and you know, it doesn't make sense to have some of the stuff in that section with the First Amendment rights. It just wasn't making sense or even legal to do. So that's about the extent of it.
Any other questions from the board? I know this is a big project, so thank you to the zoning commission for your work on getting that sign code updated. That's a big chapter.
It took us a while. Yeah.
All right, roll call vote for the approval of the proposed changes and amendments to Chapter 7.
Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. The next thing I have is an approval is needed on the amendments to Chapter 3 zoning districts and regulations and Appendix E to clarify the ties between the uses listed in Chapter 3 to those in Appendix E.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval needed on amendments to Chapter 3 zoning districts and regulations and Appendix E to clarify the ties between the uses listed in Chapter 3 to those in Appendix E.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Same set of questions. Was this duly advertised for all the public hearings?
Yes.
Zoning commission, did they have any feedback on these changes?
No.
And regional planning, did they review this?
They have.
Okay. And no changes suggested from
No
them?
changes.
Okay. And then any comments at the public hearings in front of the zoning commission?
Not on this.
Okay. And can you just give the public a quick update on what this change means?
So this, our Chapter 3 is our zoning districts, and there's also a use section in our called Appendix E. So if it's not within the actual written text of Chapter 3, we have a whole matrix of uses in the back of the book, and this ties the two legally from one chapter to the next.
Okay. All right. And this was at the request of legal counsel?
It was.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Next thing I have is approval is needed to appoint Anthony Ramos Jr. as the BZA alternate. We had a review committee of Sue Fields, myself, and Roy Mosley. And then we had 2 applicants. And we had a scoring matrix between all 3 of us that we rated each candidate. We thank both of them for applying. Anthony Ramos came out on top with the numbers.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of Anthony Ramos Jr. as BZA alternate till the end of this year,
I will make that
till the end
motion.
of 2025.
Second.
All right. Any questions on this appointment? All right. Roll call, please.
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
I just want to address a couple of the public comments while I got a second. The agriculture, Mr. Scott brought up. We have requested regional planning to go ahead and go through the years and show us the increase and how they came up with that. So we put that request in last week, so we should be getting something from them. As far as the other resident, that was concerned about the trucks in the driveway or the amount of vehicles in the driveway. There's this misinformation that zoning can control that. We can't. We don't have anything in the zoning code that would require the amount of parking on their driveway. In fact, the trustees, as well as the zoning commission, passed where you can have trailers and campers and boats in your front yard as long as they're parked on a driveway. And then we don't require the amount of them and in the backyard or anything like that anymore, but they have to be parked on a hard surface or gravel. As far as the vacant house, we do know of the one on Brimfield Road. We are watching it to see. We have to prove in court that it's been vacant for 2 years. So we have to show the judge before we get search warrants that it has been. And sometimes that's difficult to do. We look at death certificates, all kinds of stuff, research to see what is going on. Typically, when these become vacant, the land bank takes over, because if it's a vacant property and they're not paying taxes, the land bank could take it. We're working with the land bank on everything. One other thing that we have to do once we get these search warrants, if it's ordered to take it down and removed by the building department and the fire department, we have to come up with the money for the demolition, which is, probably about $20,000 now after you do your asbestos abatements and things of that nature. So it is kind of costly for us to take these out, and then we have to put that money up and then wait through the years as it comes back in taxes. And that's very difficult for us. But we do work with the land bank on all of the abandoned houses. They're aware of this one. And I just wanted to clear that stuff up. So hopefully that answers all the questions.
Thank you so much. All right, any questions for zoning?
Mike, they were moving product into that Dollar General yesterday.
Yeah, that's good.
Should be open tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to open soon. I heard rumors as well as Drug Mart wanting to open prior to the holidays as well. So
To the what?
Drug Mart is going to open prior to the holidays as well, is what I hear.
That's-
Some people were asking about Wing Warehouse. Is that what's going to be back here, Wing Warehouse?
They are.
How close are they to opening?
They got a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit. But
Okay.
it's looking good. I mean, the crews are in there working. So.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, that Drug Mart's gonna look nice.
Yeah, Drug Mart is coming out very nice. They give me weekly updates, pictures, where they're at.
Now, that's
That's a smooth project.
it's almost gonna be a grocery store, right?
It's going to be grocery as well as, your prescriptions and school supplies. I know that the school had mentioned, and I want to thank Drug Mart. I did make a call to them. They did a lot of donations for the first day of school for the kids, donated a lot of supplies for the kids, which is much appreciated.
So it'll be a good partner. And they are still putting in that meat counter or whatever you were talking about?
Yeah, they should be selling meats as well as deli and bakery.
Wow.
And then, while we have this on, we're still, ODOT is in control. There was a lot of questions. ODOT is in control of the light. And there's going to be some modifications to Falcon Drive. That is at the request of the county engineer's office. There's some misinformation out there, as well as that zoning approves where the entrances come in and off of Drug Mart. That just doesn't happen. Zoning doesn't approve these. We actually asked for the permits, for the drive permits, from the county engineer or ODOT. ODOT did not allow an entrance off of 43. They're the ones that are pushing for the light, and the entrances off of Falcon Drive get approved by the county engineer's office. So I just wanted to clarify that.
So ODOT is pushing for the light there?
They're pushing for the light, yes.
How close
There's-
are they to making that happen? Is there still no study to be done?
It's
or-
gonna be, well, I think it's gonna be delayed. I have not talked to ODOT. I have talked to the developer skipper group as well as Drug Mart. And apparently in 2023, a dump truck came through there and ripped the existing signal wires out for the light. And you could see them hanging there. Drug Mart says, well, they don't want to pay for new wiring of that because the insurance of the dump truck should have paid for those wires to be installed. So there's some legality and litigation going on that Drug Mart doesn't want to pay for that, particular thing. And they've looked up police records and haven't found anything as far as this claim.
And then the approval of the two driveways, because that has been the question that's floating out there, that came from Portage County or ODOT?
That comes from, so the ones on Falcon Drive would be Portage County. Dave refers all of the drive permits to the county. And there's gonna be some modifications to Falcon Drive. Those modifications, Dave would speak more to it, he's been in the meetings. But there's a team with the school system. I'm trying to think of his name, who's involved. Do you know who from the schools that is?
I think Brian Munger.
Brian Munger. Yeah, so it's Brian Munger, Mike Collins, as well as the engineer from the Drug Mart. So they're involved to try to get Falcon Drive. They're going to widen Falcon Drive, extend the left turn movement. There's going to be a middle turn and then a right turn. And that's going to happen, I think, all before October 29th.
So that'll open up some traffic.
Yes.
Pretty good. Mike, and I don't know if you can answer this, for safety services, Opticom, like, once we start getting these, I mean, we're gonna have 6, 7, 8 lights heading north and south. Is there a requirement that they would have to put in for light changing? We wanna get to the north end of town, it's gonna take.
Yeah, so
Is there a certain requirement that they?
for preemption,
Yeah, just.
I mean, I would certainly push ODOT for preemption and.
Without us spending a fortune?
Right, well, it's all new, so I mean, I think that's a valid point. I think,
I mean, we're starting to hit, we can get through lights, but.
yeah, they should all interchange. We did this in Macedonia years ago. I was part of this preemption, although it cost the town, and we did get some safety.
That's what I'm trying to avoid. Can they pay for it?
Yeah, well, I mean, now's the time. So I'm not in those meetings. I mean, they report and send it to me, but Dave could get you guys involved, police and fire with.
Because if we think about it, we're hitting, if we come out, the backside, we're hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights to get to 40, to get to 261.
Yeah, and if you
with
have
more coming, possibly.
And if you have it all interconnected with preemption, then all of those will turn.
Right.
As soon as you hit your signals, they'll all turn
Just a
to
thought.
flashing red. Yeah, to flashing red. So,
All right, I think we start that discussion now. If ODOT's making these changes, maybe it gives us some leverage.
But I don't want to pay for it.
Right. So, Dave, you can work with Craig and Roy to start having those discussions and
Well,
see what meeting we can get in on.
if nothing else, there's safety funds that are part of AMS
Right.
that we can't apply for because we don't have an engineer in-house, but the county engineer can actually apply for those safety funds
And a lot of those are.
as a request of the
I'm
fire
gonna,
department.
I'm gonna sound dumb on this, but a lot of those are, you can hit it by a certain sound on the siren.
Correct.
Turn it to the whale sound, and it turns it.
Correct.
So it's a certain sound, it's a certain light.
I think we have enough population and enough traffic. I think there's 44,000 vehicles a day on State Route 43.
Right.
So I think there's some valid points there.
But us stop and go, know it sounds cheesy, but seconds count sometimes.
No, I agree, and I think you have enough crash data to show that as a safety concern. I think there was enough crashes through Howe and 43 as well as this intersection through the years that can be used as leverage.
One of our worst ones is the people coming off the highway, they just don't stop.
No, they don't.
They just don't stop. So,
See that.
just thought.
Well, let's start those discussions, and then we can, if we find that it has to go through Amex, we can draft a letter from the board
Like Mike said, now when
To the
putting up the
county
new
engineer.
lights, now's the easiest time
to start doing that.
to put them up.
Yep, it's a valid point. And we'll get you guys involved in the meetings. So.
Thank you.
Should we bring back next to the board
I
meeting?
think it helps both of us.
Yeah, and then we can start to discuss it, what options we're going to go. Because we're getting towards that point too with the county where we might be able to request something to them going into 26 to go through Amex and get us funding. All right, other questions for zoning? All right, hearing none, we'll move into road departments. Dave, the floor is yours, sir.
Alrighty, just a few updates here. The Klein Road pipe project, that's almost completed. Just, we have to put some riprap in there, but we had Helmling pull off until the chip and seal gets swept up and stuff. That way the road's cleaned up some. And on that note, the 2025 chip and seal project is at the halfway point. They still have to sweep the roads off, fix any issues, and stripe everything. So we're still moving forward with that, which should start happening sometime this week. Sue said we've been out Durapatching. Just to let some people know, I had some comments from some people that we stopped Durapatching their road because, well, we didn't feel like doing their road. No, we ran out of material. And this year, Russell Standard's been having a hard time keeping the material we need in stock with all the chip and seal projects and stuff. So we're gonna be back down on Cherrywood and Beechcrest 11 again today. We can pick up some material and get back to Durapatching again, which we couldn't get it for the last 3-4 days. They were out of it. We've been out doing spot road mowing to make sure intersections are in good shape, plus some of the roadways when we have a chance. Right now, we're still waiting, the new business stuff. Now we're still waiting on a start date for the Sherman Wood Drive paving project for this year. It should happen within the next week or two. Had a meeting with Jasmine. It was fun. I'm probably the worst one to have a meeting with, but anyway. I also know she likes tractor pulling, so we got off real good. The Sue's thing, barricades on Hickory Creek. We put the barricades in ourselves as the township to stop the traffic from going on to Sugar Maple because we just paved that road. I talked to the engineer's office about the barricades, what their thoughts were, should I remove them? And they said, no, not yet, because we still want to cut traffic going into Sugar Maple from the undedicated road. Now, I know people moved them, drive through there and stuff, but there still is a phase 2 on Hickory Creek to be done yet. So again, we'll be back to construction vehicles going in and out of that roadway. So we're trying to deter any construction equipment from going into Sugar Maple developments. So that's why we'll be leaving the barricades up. I mean, if the board wants us to remove them, we'll remove them, but we got them up there just kind of to calm some of the traffic down with all the workers going on in that area.
So it's more about the heavy equipment. We don't want them tearing up our new.
Right. We didn't want them, because right off the bat, when they first started Hickory Creek, we just paved the road and there was already dump trucks and stuff cutting through, because we even, at that point, the engineer's office made them put up no construction traffic signs out in front of Sugar Maple. We put the barricades up to stop that from them destroying our brand new road. I mean, like I said, again, if you guys want us to remove them, we can remove them. I mean, they're not tied down, so if there's an emergency, something drastic would happen, you can throw them off into somebody's yard. They're 4x8 barricades, but again, they have been, you can drive through there right now. They're not set up to where they're mounted in the middle of the road, stopping everything. It's just a deterrent.
I mean, I'm open for discussion, but I think leaving those barricades there is probably best. Because we invested all that money on that road.
Well, they
So-
went through the VZA too. The
Right.
developer had to go the extra mile.
Yeah, and I think it just protects that investment that we made in that road until those construction vehicles are done.
Right. So, I mean, myself personally, I like them there for right now, because also it's the break point. I mean, if something would happen to the non-dedicated road, like you drive through it and somebody drops a box of nails or screws, whatever you use now. It's still not, people normally call and say, hey, there's a bunch of nails on the road, you gotta clean it up, I got flat tires, you gotta fix my tires. It kind of shows the difference between the two roads, what's dedicated and what's not dedicated. To where you would have to go to the builder for something like that, so.
I think you do what's right.
Well, like I said, the engineer's office, I talk to them just to make sure, just, you know, if I'm not causing an issue, and they're on board with us to leave them up, to deter the people from cutting through. I mean, don't get me wrong, people cut through there. I mean, we watch it, but the dump trucks and all the bigger stuff, they normally stay on the undedicated roads, so.
I think we're in agreement. I don't think we need a motion for that because we're not changing anything. We're just leaving it as it is for
Leave it
now.
as it is. I'm okay with that.
Okay, my last thing for you is, board approval. I mean, it's a change order to the Shermanwood paving project. We found a few more slabs that were really bad there, and it went over what our estimated fix was. Where the change order will be $46,040, which would make the grand total of the project go up from, and read all these little numbers. The project was first estimated out at $277,852, which now a total cost of, where'd it go? $323,892. Which is underneath what I budgeted for that project for the year. We budgeted for $350,000. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. If you want to approve to move forward, it's another 800 square feet of concrete we're going to be putting into that roadway. So,
Dave, I'll make that motion that we approve the additional funding for Shermanwood concrete replacement, not to exceed 46.5 or something.
46.5.
$46,440.
Okay.
So I will second that for the 46,500, not to exceed. Jasmine, looking at after meeting with Dave, we good to do that out of the construction or the road fund?
Yes, me and Dave did discuss when we met.
Okay. Questions on that?
Are they starting that? Are they?
No, that's the project we're waiting for a start date yet. It should be
Okay.
coming up soon. Let's put it this way, this is a small change order. We looked into some other things. The project would have doubled if I would have did everything I wanted to do, which I don't have the funds for that. So we're keeping it within the funds we had budgeted for the project, so.
Okay.
Roll call for the change order.
Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, and that's all I got for you today. And thanks.
Any questions for roads? All right, we'll move into Parks and Rec.
You want me to read that?
Yeah, whatever, whoever wants to cover highlights, because Cassie's not here today.
Okay, 9-2, she met with Kent State GIS students about McGuire Park mapping project, Park and Rec and tourism management students, and creating park programs. I did talk to her, she has definitely come up with some exciting possibilities for some programming, you know, using outside sources. I'll let her talk about it later. Upcoming programs, team finance series presented by 717 Credit Union Monday, starts Mondays 9 to 8 and 10-6 at 7 p.m. at the Brimfield Library. And talking to a lot of these teenagers, they sure could use a little financial help figuring things out.
I was going to ask, we might, and I want to see Cassie, I'll remind her, we might want to reach out to the high school about this too. I think it'd be a great partnership with the school too. Let them know this is happening.
Oh, heck yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, people don't realize that you turn 20 and in the blink of an eye, you're 60. And you're wondering why you don't have any money. So also she's doing identity theft for seniors presented by 717 Credit Union, Tuesday September 9th at 10 a.m. at the town hall. And it's great to see she's at least partnering with some of these businesses to help these kind of programs for the township. Boo Cruise Halloween Home Decorating Contest. Registration opens September 12th, partnering with Portage County Regional Planning commission again this year. And then 11:30, the hometown Christmas. She is seeking volunteers, Patty, and seeking, is Patty? Oh, did I say your name? Okay. Seeking sponsorship and planning events scheduled. So, that's what she's got. So Sue, they might need you to play piano and sing. Okay. Nick, we could do a rendition of a Christmas song. That's sure to end the event quickly. Okay. That's all I got.
All right. Any questions about Parks and Rec? If not, we'll move into IT, and Joe, the floor is yours about the board locks.
Okay, so this is a follow-up from last meeting. So I was asking for approval for rekeying of door locks in the new admin building. So I did follow up with Rycon, the construction company, and our architect. And since this is work outside of the scope of the original project, there is no conflict with us doing business with Builders Hardware directly. So that was the question I was asked to follow up on. So now I'm back to asking for approval we're in effect going to be rekeying 13 doors in the admin building and getting keys for those 13 doors, the amount of $1,770.
I'll entertain a motion for the rekeying of the 13 doors in the administration building not to exceed $1,770.
So moved.
I'll second for discussion.
And this will ensure that we have different keying systems between the fire and the admin side this way.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And what fund are we taking this out of? This general fund expenditure?
I believe that is where this is coming from, the general.
Yeah, it would be general fund.
Okay. All right. My big concern last week on this was just make sure it didn't mess with the scope of the project.
Correct.
You verified that we're good there. I don't have any questions on it. Does the rest of the board have questions?
No.
All right, roll call for approval.
Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, any questions for IT? All right, hearing none, we'll move into cemetery. Sue, do you have anything you want to talk about with the Eagle Scout
Yeah,
project?
we have deed.
I did not see a deed. Did we have a deed? No, I don't think we did have a deed.
Okay, all right. What we have here is a few years back, we had an Eagle Scout project in the cemetery. And Jared at that time was 18 in this project. And he and his father helped him, and they built a flag burning pit. And over the years, the Boy Scouts has had that as a community project and burned the flags that are dead. And so now the family has come and asked, it would cost $96. They want to power wash it, and there's also some brick damage on the top of the rim of the fire pit. They want to repair that, and they want to do the work for it, but the material for this would cost $96. So Jared is requesting that the township consider paying them or giving them the funds, the $96 to do the repairs. And I've thought about this, and the pit is not just a normal somebody's burial site with a monument on top of it. This pit can be used actually for anyone that wants to burn their old flags and dispose of them properly. And it's my recommendation that we do provide them, when they give us the bill or whatever, the proposal, that we refund them the $96.
So you're making the motion?
That's my motion, that we fund them that $96.
Okay, I'll second that for discussion.
Yeah.
It's an Eagle Scout project. It's something that benefits the community. I don't see an issue. I mean, we're not talking thousands of dollars here. It's $96 reimbursement, but it'll be a benefit to the community.
It would be.
And so then they're basically volunteering their labor. So.
Right.
It fixes up a piece for us. I'm not opposed to it.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay.
Jasmine, are you good with
I'm good.
$96?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Roll call.
Jendi has the proposal.
Okay, I'll look at it.
all right.
Thank you.
So roll call to approve the Eagle Scout project not to exceed $96.
All right, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Any questions for cemetery? If not, we're going to move into the fiscal portion of the meeting. Jasmine, the floor is yours.
All right. So we don't have any old business, but for new business, just want to bring discussion for a payment option for Rycon. I do need to make a correction that this is not our final construction payment. We are still, I believe, in talks with awaiting final settlement of change orders and any liquidated damages and other costs from QCI, Rycon, and Moody Nolan. So I believe we do have maybe another payment to come. But currently, we do have an outstanding bill from March in the amount of $523,097.22, which may incur penalties and interest if not paid soon. So we have been looking at an immediate plan to get this payment behind us. The one proposed internal loan plan is that we use JED dollars from fire, police, and roads, plus a portion from general fund to make a quick payment to Rycon. Joe, do you have that? Can you put that on the screen for me, please? So this is the Rycon loan payment analysis to become current on our payments. The total would be $524,000. Internal loan from fire would be $25,000, roads $150,000, police $324,000, and the general fund $25,000. It will allow us with the remaining carryover into 2026. I have met with all departments to get an agreement on a number and to make sure any planned expenditures have been paid. Worst case scenario would be contingency plan if the loan is not obtained. Please keep in mind this loan is the loan that was approved by the Board of Trustees last week. So the contingency plan, if this loan was not attained, would be repayment over 2 years using our savings from our salary cuts from the business manager position elimination and the parks assistant not being backfilled, also, which is approximately about $200,000 a year in savings, an additional $100,000 from JED M&I funds to cover contracted services while maintaining existing M&I commitments. Do we have?
Yep, so I think that's, Jasmine, you and I kind of worked on this together
Yes.
along with the other department heads. So we have an existing approval for a loan. But the problem is that loan that we approved at the last meeting could take a couple more months to come through before it's finalized and we see funding from that. With the timeframe on this was brought to fiscal in March, approved in April by USDA, and then brought to the board in May for a fix. We've been sitting on it theoretically since March, and we need to settle this because we have those outstanding subcontractors that are not being paid by Rycon because we owe them the 523. So while we wait for the loan, the idea is, can we do an internal 0% interest loan from those divisions, and then they will be repaid back by the loan when it's obtained, or if the loan was to fail for some reason, we always like to think catastrophic, then it would be a 3-year repayment, or a 2-year repayment at $300,000 per year to pay those divisions back, to make sure that they get all their money so that we're not defunding those divisions at all. This is just a way for us to settle this bill today and move this project forward and really eliminate some of that risk that exists from interest and penalties due to late payment on this that exists out there.
Okay, now, some of these funds, I mean, just correct me, I mean, they can't use any levy funds, because the
Correct.
levy can only be used so this would be,
So we're essentially pulling the JED dollars back is how we're working this. Just like we did when we had to do the payroll piece, and then we paid the payroll right back to them when those JED dollars came in. We're pulling the JED dollars back, because JED dollars are technically general fund money, and then we as a board distributed that at the 30-30-30-10.
we just gotta be so careful, because I know, I mean, what has Chris Atkins said?
We've discussed this, yeah.
So you're okay with it, Roy?
Yeah, so Jasmine and I had an initial discussion, then she went out and went to the department heads and then brought it back. And she met with each department, so we'll start just kind of down here. Roy, she met with you and Chris.
Yeah, yep.
Comfort level on this, is there support from the department to
Yes.
move this direction?
Yes.
It's not gonna, it'll affect your carryover, but. So,
It's an internal loan we're looking at, so, yeah.
And Craig, they met with you?
Yeah, and then Chris and I met, and then Chris and I met with Jasmine to make sure we were comfortable, because as you can see, I mean, let's just call out, police take a big brunt of that, and Chris and I met, so we weren't at odds, because I just don't have the money, but, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't mad at me, let's just call apples apples, and we were okay, and we met, and then we met with Jasmine to make sure that we were okay, so moving forward, and it just is what it is right now. So he was okay with it, and we all met together. So.
there's a good chance that we're gonna get this loan.
Yeah,
It needs to go back to them.
Right, and that's part of the resolution that we'll talk about in a minute if we move forward. We want to have the discussion first.
Right.
Because the goal is to reimburse them, and if we can't, if the loan fails, that's why we put in the catastrophic 2-year repayment, so that we get all that funding back to them at the end of 2 years. Which is essentially a 0% interest internal loan. Because we don't want to leave this cost out there, because we've been sitting since March, that's a long time to fund the bill. We're just waiting for litigation at this point.
Right.
Dave, Jasmine met with you also on your budget on this, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we went through everything. Already what I have contracted out, like we discussed, we can't touch like the 2195, that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're fine. We got through the numbers, because I like to keep a little bit of a carryover. I just won't have my carryover right at the moment until things work out, but we're good as we are. So it's not affecting none of the projects I'm working on this year, so we're good.
We did discuss 2 other options. The second option would be, we just do nothing, we wait for the loan. And that's, do we want to incur that risk of penalties and interest, which will extend the project cost additionally. And then option 3, Jasmine proposed, was to pay them a portion of this and then make a payment plan on the last $100,000 to them to reduce the impact of the departments. Two concerns that exist with that option is, will they pay off all the subs, or will we still end up in litigation, so then we did this for no reason? And 2, would they be accepting of that, because we were originally supposed to pay them $275,000 back in May, but then we found out that money wasn't there and couldn't be worked that way, so then it ended up getting tabled. So this has been an ongoing discussion with RICON since May.
So will RICON pay the subs?
So I talked with, hang on, let me find my
Because
notes
those are
here.
the little guys. A lot of
Yeah.
them are,
So when I talked to Jason, I want to say that was his name, I talked to Jason yesterday from RICON, the project superintendent, and he said that yes, this will pay over 20 of the subcontractors off. There's a couple that will not be paid, but that's because they have open change orders that QCI is still fighting with them about if they would be approved or not. So we couldn't pay them anyways because they're open change orders. There's been no approval on those change orders. But this would pay off all those existing
what if it
subcontractors.
doesn't? What if it doesn't? What if they don't do it?
What if they don't do what?
RICON doesn't do what they're saying.
Well, then it's on them, because this money is allocated through that pay app to pay those subcontractors. So it takes the risk for us out of this scenario at that.
How many other subcontractors do we have that it's not helping?
He said it was very few that were left, because there's just a couple change orders left. He did not give me an exact number, but there's only a couple change orders that are left open that QCI is fighting them on.
Okay.
Just representing us, because that's what we pay QCI to do.
I'm definitely appreciative that the department heads are helping out on this fiasco.
I think this has been a team effort. I mean, listen, we were working till the 11th hour last night on this, and Jasmine and I were talking at 8:30 last night to make sure all the dots were crossed, the Ts were crossed. We had our legal counsel draft up a resolution if this was an option today. So,
Okay.
what are your thoughts? I mean,
I
I'm
think you
open
need-
to all of them.
We don't need to start incurring penalties.
Yeah, that's my concern. We're just gonna drive the cost of this project higher if we don't deal with this now.
Yeah, there are some other things we need, I was just mentioning to Jasmine, we really need to look into, just to build up the security of the township. One thing is, I mentioned to her, we gotta look into this thing. Have you ever looked at the list of property we have?
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
we're,
long list.
we're sitting on a lot of property, what are we doing with it? Nothing. What are we ever gonna do with it?
Yeah, I think it's a 2026 plan where we start looking at that. Jasmine, I think you did a great job in your video series that you've been doing on Fridays where you talk about, we gotta deal with the big problem right now, right? We gotta stop that
Right.
broken engine before we can go back and fix all the other pieces. We're kind of just leaking and you're doing a great job patching it up, and I think this is one of those big leaks that we have on the ship that
Right.
gets sealed up so that we can then go back and go through the boat and find all the
Right.
problems.
Yeah.
I do think once this is taken care of, I think we'll be able to move forward much smoother, honestly.
So, and you did the cost projections through the end of 2025. And this is where we land going into 2026. So,
Okay.
so
So,
I'm willing to, I'll entertain a
Do you have
motion.
anything to say?
No, I'm fine. This is good.
I'll entertain a motion, for approval of a resolution pending prior distributions of township funds previously allocated to the Brimfield Township Police, Fire, and Road Departments to the general fund entitled.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. So once again, as you read through this exhibit here, it does talk about using these funds, bringing them back from the JED revenues. We're only touching JED revenues, and that this would be reimbursed to those departments at the completion of the loan process or in that 2-year repayment plan.
Do you want me to read the resolution?
No, we can just do it in title only, unless you
Okay.
want to read anything. It's
No,
up to you.
okay, go ahead.
So, there are other questions on it? All right, roll call vote.
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion
passes.
passed.
Just make sure you get those departments paid back.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why we put it in this resolution this way, and we wanted to document it in that email that all the department heads got last night. The board was made aware of also.
Yes.
All right. Any other updates for us?
Thank
Jasmine?
you.
No other updates, that's all.
All right. We do have an executive session today. Before we do that, though, we'll open this up to the good of the order for the board. Any comments for the good of the order? I want to thank our department heads for their help on this. We're going to go into executive session. We're going to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G, for the purposes of considering the following manners: discipline, and that will be the part of that. So I need a second for that.
I'll second.
All right, roll call for executive session.
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
You didn't say we wanted it.
Yep, so for executives, now that we're in it, now we can name, it'll be the board and our legal counsel to start, and we pull additional people in.
Okay. You're part of the board.
Okay.
executive session at 10:04. There'll be no action taken today. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I will make this motion.
I will,
Sec-
oh, go ahead, second, sir.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call for adjournment?
Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, meeting adjourned, 10:04. Have a great day.
And you'll be at the next meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay.